in July 1991, over 2,500 miles away, Special Agent Dan West at the FBI's Las Vegas field office received a call. It was from a man who claimed he had been hired to kill 2 people for $25,000.
I immediately wasn't sure whether or not he was just a prank call. It's not unusual for the FBI, especially in Las Vegas on a weekend, to receive prank calls, a lot of alcohol flowing. So I asked him to give me specific details of the alleged planned murder.
The caller said that a man named Ray Cologne had hired him to kill 2 managers of a male exotic dance troupe touring England. They were competitors of the Chippendale's dancers. The source said he did not know why Cologne wanted the men dead, but for some reason the would-be hitman had decided not to go through with it.
I'm not sure if the source backed out because of Good Samaritan reasons or because he chickened out. He flew to England and then flew back to the United States almost immediately. I think he flew into Los Angeles and then drove to Las Vegas, basically to hide out.
The agent told the source to meet him at the office at 5 o'clock the next morning. He needed to somehow confirm the caller's story.
He also said that he had worked with the DEA in prior investigations as an informant, and he provided me with the name of a DEA agent in Houston who could vouch for him.
The DEA agent confirmed that he had previously worked with the source and insisted that the man was to be trusted. After the FBI arranged protection for the intended victims in England, the informant described the murder plan. Preparations were made a few days earlier at the Los Angeles home of his former landlord, Ray Cologne, the man who had hired him. Cologne led the would-be hitman to his garage, where they met Cologne's brother-in-law, who had recently returned from scouting the victims in England.
Look, man, we want this...
He told the informant that he could find his targets in the town of Blackpool on July 20th, when the exotic dancers were scheduled to perform there. Because of England's strict gun laws, smuggling a gun in was out of the question. Instead, Cologne instructed the hitman to kill his victims by fatal injection. He mixed a dose of cyanide powder into a small vial. They figured it could be smuggled past customs in a bottle of eye drops. The agent needed something more solid than the statement of one informant to bring in Ray Cologne. He consented to get Cologne on tape. The reformed hitman would call Cologne and pretend that he was still in England.
What we were trying to get from the telephone conversations was strong evidence that Cologne was a part of the plan to kill the 2 intended victims, if not the organizer of the plan. We had the information from the source, but we had to verify that through the tape conversations.
Hello?
Ray!
Yeah.
Barry, buddy! Are you sure that damn stuff is gonna work? It's pretty red, buddy.
Yeah, it'll work.
Oh, man, I don't want to...
But and if you want to add something to it...
How long is it gonna take before they croak and hit down? Is that an immediate, if not sooner?
Yeah, right. That's probably potent. You can even put a little, if you want, a little Drano in there if you want.
Well, it's gonna kill them right away then, huh? Okay.
It was evident from the beginning that Ray Cologne was not only a participant in this murder-for-hire scheme, but that he was actually the director of it. Cologne provided numerous suggestions to the source on how to best effect the death of these 2 intended victims.
What wasn't evident from the recordings was a motive for killing 2 managers of an exotic male dance troupe.
Do you know who hired Cologne?
During the conversations, Cologne had made reference to a 3rd man who was providing money for the double murder. But the informant told Agent West that he did not know the man's name. 2 days later, on Wednesday, July 25, 1991, a federal judge in California was convinced that the FBI had enough probable cause to search Cologne's Los Angeles home.
What's up?
Cologne was surprised by the warrant. It limited the agent's search to cyanide, travel records to England, and correspondence that could link Cologne and his brother-in-law to the intended murders. In the bedroom, they found flyers for the male exotic dance tour in England.
Harry, let me have a bag, will you?
They also found 2 handguns in a drawer. Records indicated they had been legally purchased by Ray Cologne. And since the warrant didn't specify weapons, the guns were not seized. In the garage, agents did find something the warrant had specified. A bag filled with cyanide. It corroborated their informant's story.
Oh, this is what he was talking about.
Then, one agent found something that would break the case wide open.
During the course of the search warrant, we found Cologne's address book. Special Agent Andy Stefanik from the Los Angeles office was going through that book, and he noticed the name of Steve Banerjee.
Agent West also discovered that Steve Banerjee, the well-known Los Angeles owner of Chippendale's nightclub, had called Cologne recently.
The toll record showed several conversations, several calls going back and forth between Banerjee and Cologne. In addition, that same day, we received the results of interviews from the British police on the intended victims, and both indicated that Steve Banerjee was the only person they could possibly think of who would have a motive to kill them or would even want to kill them.
The 2 managers of the rival male dance troupe believed that Banerjee wanted them dead to stop them from competing with Chippendales. This was the same motive that New York authorities suspected was behind the murder of Banerjee's former business partner, Nick DeNoia.